This is a 7th grade worksheet for lesson 36 and I'll be covering it. The diameter of a circular sumo wrestling ring is 14.9 feet. What is the area? So to calculate area, you would do pi times r squared, and r is the radius. But we're given diameters, so we need to convert this diameter to radius, and we would do that by dividing by 2, because diameter is just 2 times the radius, or radius is half the diameter. But same thing. So you do 14.9 divided by 2, you get 7.45. Plug in this value, which is your r value, and then you would plug into this formula, and you can use 3.14, or if you have a pi button in your calculator, and you should get around 174.366. But for some reason it's not on here. It says the answer is C. It might be a mistake, but this is how you're supposed to do it. What is the circumference of a circle if the radius of a circle is 6 inches? So it says we're given radius and we're trying to find the circumference. And to find the circumference, you do pi times the diameter. And we need the diameter, so it would just be 2 times 6, which would get us 12. And then the answer would be C, because you would plug in 12 for D. So you get pi times 12. That would just be 12 pi. The radius of a bicycle is 20 centimeters. What is the circumference of a bicycle wheel? So the radius is 20, and we're trying to find the circumference. So it's the same thing. We would take this 20, multiply it by 2, which we would get 40, and this would be our diameter. And we would do 40 times pi, which got us 40 pi. The answer is D. The radius station has a broadcasting radius of 40 miles. What area does a radio station cover? So it has a radius of 40 miles, and this is what area does this radio station cover. So that means we're trying to find the area. So we would do pi times 40 squared, and 40 squared, that's 1,600 times pi. That would be D. Let's see. And okay, number 5. What is the area of a circle if the radius is 8? So we would just do 8 squared times pi, and that would get us 64 pi. So the answer is B. What is the circumference of a hot plate if the diameter of the hot plate is 18 centimeters? So circumference is just pi times the diameter. So we just plug pi times the diameter. We plug in our diameter value, so it would be pi times 18. So the answer would be A. So why don't you try 7 through 9 on your own? I'll put the answer and see if you get the same thing. Find the answer. So we're given 9p squared over 7 times 5 over 6p4 to the 4th power. And so to do this, it's easy if you just look at it like this. Over 7 times 5 over 6. And we just multiply it. And if we look here, you can simplify them. You can divide it by the greatest common factor, which would be 3 pi squared. Because 3 pi squared would go into both of them. So if you divide this by 3p squared, that would be 3. That would just be 3. And then here, if you divide this by 3p squared, that would just become 2 pi squared. Now you can just multiply it. So 3 times 5, that's 15. 7 times 2p squared, that'll just be 14p squared. The same thing for number 2. We would have 5 over 8q to the 6th power times 4 q to the 5th power over 3. And so here we can simplify it this way. Here we cannot. So the greatest common factor here would be 2q to the 5th power. So we can, our greatest common factor would be 2q to the 5th. Wait, no, we can do 4q. Sorry, our greatest common factor between 4q5 and 8q6 would be 4q5. So if we divide it by 4q5 on both of them, so 4q5 divided by 4q5, that's just 1. 8q to 6th power divided by 4q to the 5th, that would just be 2p, or sorry, 2q. And we just multiply them, so 5 times 1 is 5. 2q times 3, that's 6q. So number 3, we have 16 r squared over 3 divided by 12 over 5r. But since we're dividing and it's fractions, we just flip them and multiply. So we would flip this one, so it becomes 5r over 12. And to find our greatest common factor, 5r and 3 don't have one, but 16r squared and 12 do, and it's 4. So 12 divided by 4, that's 3. 16r squared divided by 4, that's 4r squared. So 4, that's just 4. So let me just. So 4r squared times 5r, that would just be 20r cubed over 3 times 3, that's 9. So yeah, try number 4 on your own. I'll write down the answer. So you should get 5 as the 6th power over 9. So yeah.